If you're going to lose 20, 40, 60, 100 plus pounds of body fat and keep it off for the rest of your life, you have to understand how to structure your meals, how to build your plates in order to see continuous success without having to overthink it. So here's the exact blueprint that we give our private clients on how to build those plates out so that they're able to see such amazing results without having to track calories and macros every single day. Let's get into it. What's going on? My name is Montel Hardin, personal trainer, strength and conditioning, and sports nutrition coach since 2017. Over that time, we've worked with hundreds of men and women, helping them drop body fat, building muscle, and get healthier than they've ever been. I'd say a good 75% or so of our clients actually did not track calories and macros. We focus more so on plate builds, we focus more on portion control, and it was able to yield amazing results. Now, I am not a CICO denier. I am not a basically calories in, calories out. That is the law of thermodynamics. If you consume too much, you will gain weight. If you eat just under what your body needs to maintain your weight, you will lose weight. I am fully in awareness of that. I am not denying that by any stretch. But I don't necessarily think that the average person has to track every single calorie, every single macro in order to facilitate a calorie deficit. I think that there are systems and strategies that you can put in place to where you can create a calorie deficit for yourself without necessarily being overly concerned with the amount of calories. And it's based on the type of foods you eat, and it's based on how you structure your actual nutrition on a day-to-day basis. If you don't believe me, one of our clients, Charity, dropped 40 pounds of body fat, got off of blood pressure medication completely, regulated her thyroid health in just 6 months, didn't track a calorie or macro. My client's Jordan is down about 40 pounds of body fat over the last year, with it's leaner than he's ever been in his life, didn't track a calorie or a macro. It is a great tool to have in a toolbox, but there are better ways. And if you want a way to get the stubborn body fat off and get healthier than ever without necessarily having to count and weigh and log and measure every bite of food that you eat, this is it right here. Now, one of the first things that people get wrong when they're trying to build out their meal and build out their diet is that they give themselves way too many options. This means that you're on the internet, 20 healthy recipes to lose weight fast, and it's got like this slow cooker this and this 30 ingredient that, and all of these different things that you probably don't really eat, you don't have on hand, takes an hour to prep, and you do all that and you don't even necessarily know if you're gonna like it. That's one of the biggest problems that I see, and it's hard to consistently do something that takes so much time, takes so much energy, takes so much effort. Everything about us as humans has been trying to put in less effort. We started with the wheel, and then we went to horses, and then we went to cars, and now in 2024, we don't even drive our cars anymore. Humans have an innate desire to create efficiency in process, except when it comes to diet. We've been bamboozled into thinking that the harder it is, the more work you have to put in, the better it is. That goes against everything that is ingrained in us as humans. You need an efficient process. You need a streamlined process. And one of the worst ways to go about that is to be trying to create 30, 40 ingredient meals that take forever to prep and cook, with foods that you've never consumed before. Not saying that you don't need to add better foods or different foods into your diet, but right off the bat, day one, that's probably not gonna work. Second mistake that I see is too few options. This is what I call the chicken, rice, and broccoli warriors. Every time you start your diet, you see the Instagram picture, they're in the gym, and then they get out the gym and you see the chicken, rice, and broccoli. And then again, the chicken, rice, and broccoli. And it's like, how long do you think you're gonna eat chicken, rice, and broccoli before you go to McDonald's, before you go to the Cheesecake Factory, before you grab a bag of Doritos or some chips or whatever the case may be? You're not going to eat. There are very, very few people on the planet that can eat such a strict, plain, unseasoned, unsalted diet. You need more variety than that. You might not need quite as much variety as let me gather 40, 50 different new recipes. You might not need that much, but you need more variety than the chicken breast and broccoli and rice. And then the third thing, and this is arguably the most important and the reason why 1 and 2 happen anyway, is just not understanding what makes a food good for you and your goals specifically. So if you don't take the time to understand food, it's just like anything. If you have a partner, you have a spouse, you have to take the time to understand that person specifically, to understand how to treat them best, how to coexist with them best, what they would prefer, what they like, etc. If you want to have a good relationship, you have to seek to understand them. If you want to be the best in your field, in your career, whatever it is that you do, you have to seek to deeply understand the inner workings of your profession, of your craft, in order to be the best at it. Same thing with your nutrition. If you truly want to overcome the hurdle of not eating what you need to eat and consistently falling off track and being undisciplined, you have to gain and acquire the knowledge about food and how it works and how it operates. And then relative to what you're trying to accomplish in your body and health, that's when you're going to start to see that real change. Knowledge is power in so many different ways, nutrition being no different. The more you know, the more you burden yourself with the knowledge of what food actually is and how it impacts your body, the more likely you are to make better decisions. So building that knowledge base is key. You're here, so I'm assuming that that's what you want to do. So that's good. Now that we got out of the way everything that you do wrong, here's how to structure your nutrition plans. And I want you to listen to this closely, because this is something that we give every single one of our clients coming into our program, and it allows them flexibility. It allows them to get the things in that they need. It allows them to streamline the nutrition process, take so much guesswork out of it, and see amazing results. So please don't take this lightly. First off is going to be on a medium-sized plate. You want to get about half of that plate filled up with a lean protein source. Chicken, salmon, shrimp, steak, lamb, whatever it is, you want to get that filled up with a lean protein source, about half of the plate. Next, in a quarter of the plate, you want that filled with carbohydrates. So rice, sweet potatoes, quinoa, chickpeas, black beans, whatever your preference is there. And then in the last quadrant, the last quarter, you want it filled with a high fiber vegetable or a fruit. So this could be spinach, kale, broccoli, green beans, cauliflower, blueberries, banana, pomegranate. And the reason you want your meals structured this way is because it's going to give you, first and foremost, the amount of protein that your body needs to actually maintain and build lean muscle during your weight loss phase, which is extremely important for keeping your metabolism intact and helping you not lose 50 pounds and look worse than you did before. I think we all know somebody, honestly, plenty of people at this point, with Ozempic and the other different procedures that we have available now to make weight loss happen fast. We've seen what someone that loses weight very, very fast ends up looking like, and they typically aren't satisfied with it. I want you to avoid losing weight fast and not being satisfied with it, even though you lost all the weight. So maintaining as much of your lean muscle mass as possible is a very, very key aspect of that, and making sure that you're getting in adequate protein is the best way to get that done. And we also want to make sure that we're getting that vegetable content in, that fibrous fruit content in, because fiber is extremely satiating. It's great for the digestion. It's great for making sure that everything moves along the way that it needs to. An efficient digestive system is going to uptick your metabolism. And then we put those carbs there for some energy, for some brain power, but it's not so much that it starts to negatively impact blood sugar or negatively impact our insulin sensitivity, because we're getting way too many carbohydrates in. This is a great way to split your plate. If you're like the average American, where you're sitting a large majority of the day, and you're getting up for a workout, you're doing a walk every now and again, but for the most part, you don't have an extremely active lifestyle right now, at least. And this will be a great way to eat, because you get in everything that you need and really nothing you don't. And then secondly, and people hate when I say this, but I promise you it's going to be one of the most fundamental changes and differences that you can make in your nutrition. You should start looking at soups, sandwiches, casseroles, and pastas as cheat meals. The reason I say this is because you never really quite know what's in these foods. You can't, in the plate build that I just gave you, if you put a piece of salmon in that 50% quadrant, or a couple of pieces of salmon there, and then you put you put 25% of the rest of the plate in green beans, and then another 25% of the plate in a sweet potato, you can look at that plate, and then within seconds, you can tell me roughly how much protein is in it, roughly how many calories are there. You have a very, very clear picture of what's in that food. Now look into a soup or a casserole or a pasta or a sandwich and try to quickly calculate for me what you're consuming there. And the soup is very, very difficult. You can't really quantify how much tomato sauce or chicken broth or whatever it is that you might be consuming there. You can't really quantify that too quickly. And a sandwich, you can't really tell me how much mayo you got on there or how much of any other sauce that's present there, or the deli meat might not be able to tell me quite how much you have on there. Casserole is probably the worst of the bunch because there's really no clue what's in that until you literally cut into it. And then pastas, there's no way you can tell me how much oil is in it, how much cream is in it, unless you literally pre-measured all of those things out beforehand, which goes back to what we were talking about before, where you just start creating meals that are too difficult to create and eat and have consistently. So if you want to really make dramatic change in your body and health this upcoming year, you have to eat simply. And eating simply does not mean eat the same thing. It does not mean eat without seasoning. It does not mean eat things you hate. It just means eat things that as soon as you look at the plate, you can pretty much tell me every protein, macro, every protein, every carb, every fat. You can even tell me some essential nutrients. Like, hey, I get in some omega-3s with this. I get in some choline. I get in some folate. I get in some antioxidants. Like, you should be able to look at a plate and immediately say that. And with soups, salads, casseroles, sandwiches, it's very, very difficult to do that. So it's one of the things that you're just going to have to, if you're having something like that 5 or 6 times a week, just cutting it down to 1 to 2 times and then replacing those other 3 or 4 times with the meal build that I just told you about, you know, it's going to go a long way. It's going to go a long way towards getting you where you need to be. And then last but not least is try to add a little sprinkle or a spoonful or whatever of a healthy fat with that meal build that I told you about. So 50% of the plate in protein, 25 in carbs, 25 in a high fiber fruit or a vegetable. And then somewhere in there, get you a spoonful or a small or maybe like a cupped handful of some type of healthy fat on the plate so that you can get in those omega-3 fatty acids, the antioxidants that come with those healthy fats. It's amazing for your heart health. It's amazing for digestion. It's amazing for hormonal function and balance. So this could be avocado, could be some almond butter, could be walnuts, Brazil nuts, almonds, be just some extra virgin olive oil kind of coated over your protein or your vegetables. There's a lot of different healthy fat options in place, but this is how you want to use it, because fats, while they are essential to our diet, they are also high calorically. So you want to make sure that you're putting guardrails in place so that you don't overconsume these things, which is very, very easy. You'd be shocked at how many calories is in, say, a spoonful of olive oil, for example. It looks like nothing, and when you put it into your meal, you're not really even gonna, taste it, or it's not gonna necessarily drastically change your meal, but it's upwards of 100 calories just in that spoonful. So you have to understand that fats are very high calorically and that you really have to moderate them. So whether it's cheese, avocado, olive oil, grab that spoonful, add that to your plate. That way you get the nutrients from it without getting the excess calories that come with over consuming them. So that is it. If I wanted to get in the best shape of my life without tracking calories and macros and weighing food and measuring food and meal prepping, like, this is how I would create my meals. You can do this 30 minutes a day, before every single meal, probably even less time, to be honest, most likely 15 to 30 minutes. You can build every single one of your meals out this way. You can literally go down a list of, okay, what are my top proteins? What are my top carbs? What are my top vegetables? What are my top fats? And literally just mix and match. And you can have thousands of different options if you want to, or you can have 3 or 4. And either way, you know that you're getting in all the nutrients that your body needs, and you're doing it in a way that's sustainable and that you can stick with long term, which is the most important thing. So that is it. If you got value out of this, you need to be getting weekly emails from me. It's one thing to watch my videos 1, 2, 3 times a week, but we know that there's a lot more time in the day than just the 15 to 20 minutes that you're watching my videos. You also need to be hearing from me multiple times throughout the week via your email, and I'm gonna send you strategies, insights, tips, motivational stories, everything that you'll need in order to stay on top of your health, even when life is busy, life is crazy. Just quick little 60-second tidbits in our Metabolic Minute newsletter, where you're gonna get the game on exactly how we're getting our clients in great shape. So click the first link down in the description. Also make sure to like, subscribe, and turn notifications on so that you don't miss any more uploads going forward. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.